Hola everybody! Welcome sa live natin. This is our first live for 2026 and I'm definitely excited to welcome you guys again. I know it's been a while since we've seen each other. I'm very much excited to again do this live kasi um during the holiday break, I really wanted to do a live kahit pa isa-isa lang. I was thinking, but I think I needed that pahinga talaga. And I think being a little bit sick kasi medyo malamig talaga ngayon dito. I don't know if some people call it malamig. May friend akong tiga Baguio and apparently hindi daw to ganun kalamig for her standards. Pero for me, who grew up, in Tuguegarao, which is like one of the hottest cities in the Philippines, it's very cold for me right now. Yung weather here is making me a little bit sick. But we pushed through. So that's why this has been a while. So, ayun. But definitely welcome you guys. And thank you so much for jumping in. And if you have any questions, just leave them below. I will try to have periodically naman to answer your questions. No problem. But for this week's live, our first live for 2026, we're gonna talk about 2026 strategy for the Spain Digital Nomad Visa. So, ano yung mga nabago? Let's just do a recap, ganyan. I know there's not yet yung minimum income requirement increase. It's not been officially announced yet. However, we do have predictions here and I tried to calculate the numbers the best I can. But definitely welcome guys and I hope this live will be very useful for everyone. Ayan. Sorry if yung boards ko medyo magulo. I don't know how to fix it for some reason, but yeah, welcome guys and let's get right to it. So first and foremost, meron ulit akong kodigo for, for this live, but definitely, the first thing is, yung pag-uusapan natin ay yung 2026 SMI and minimum income requirement. Kasi, I don't know if you guys have been here a while, but I always remind people na yung mga sasubmit or mag-a-apply like 2026, kailangan nyo maging aware na at the end of January, tumataas talaga yung minimum income requirement. However, it's not that scary if you're isa ka lang, like single applicant, ganyan. Kasi technically, maliit lang naman yung kailangan mong i-hit and maliit lang yung magiging difference niya compared dun sa mga may families and stuff. So, I tried to also do yung +5 dependents here dito sa breakdown ko. But definitely, just to give a brief explanation, so with the Spain Digital Nomad Visa, yung minimum income requirement kasi na you have to be making monthly is naka-base siya sa minimum wage here in Spain. So, ang tawag doon is SMI. So, etong minimum wage na to is definitely increases around beginning of each year. Kasi ina-adjust nila to for inflation, for how the economy is doing. So, that's how Spain does it. Hindi kagaya sa Philippines na yung minimum wage natin, it's been there for a while. So, definitely here, they try to at least every year na makita kung ano yung kailangan nilang i-adjust for it to be fair yung working conditions. So, for the digital nomad visa, it requires kasi 200% of the minimum wage. That means twice no minimum wage nila here in Spain. So, for the main applicant yon. However, if mag-a-add ka ng isang dependent, yung pinakauna mong dependent is 75% of the SMI. And then, yung every dependent after that is 25%. So, kung kunyari, tatlo kayo, so ikaw yung main applicant, 200% of the SMI, tapos yung 75% for your first dependent and 25% for the last dependent. Then, kung mag-a-add ka ng another one, 25% ulit yun. Now, I understand it is a little bit confusing kasi it's very math Or ako lang yung confused kasi I'm very bad at math. But definitely, yung baseline natin for 2025 is 2,763 euros for the main applicant. Ngayon, this is using the 12-month payment calculation. Kasi ang technically, ang inaano nila, ang ginagamit nila here is yung yearly or annual na salary. Pero kasi may iba getting paid na 14 months. May iba na binabayaran 12 months. Yung monthly talaga sila. So, it would depend based on that. But definitely, kung may 3% increase, kasi historically speaking, like past 2024, 2025, ang usual na increase ranges about 3 to 5% nung current rate. So, I did prepare both 3% and 5%. So, let's go with the 3% muna. For the main applicant, ang magiging monthly requirement is 2,845.89 euros. For one dependent na additional, mag-a-add ka ng 1,067.21 euros. So that means ang magiging annual total mo, if merong main applicant plus one dependent, is 46,957.20 euros. Ito yung annual mo na kinikita. Ngayon, if plus 2 dependents, so yung 25%, that's 355.74 euros. So ngayon, ang magiging computation mo is for main applicant, if 3% yung tinaas, it's 2,845 euros. 0.89 pero yeah, it's 2,845.89 euros. And then magpa-plus ka for the first dependent ng 1,067.21 euros. And then for any dependents after that, ang i-add mo ay 355.74 euros. So kayo na, like mag-try mag-math dyan. Definitely tell me if you guys are a little bit confused. Pero don't worry kasi ina-upload naman natin to on YouTube every Monday. So if gusto nyo to look back on dito sa ano natin, then definitely pwede nyo siyang panoorin sa YouTube. And if not naman, mag-join kayo sa Facebook group because definitely once na in-announce to, yung talagang minimum income requirement, I'll definitely do a post on it just so you guys can follow. Ayun. Other than that, we'll do with scenario B. So with scenario B, this means 5% increase. So ito yung probably maximum na itataas niya. So, ang total for main applicant is 2,901.15 euros. Ito yung magiging monthly requirement. Ang annual niya is 34,813.80 euros. Ngayon, pag mag-a-add ng isang dependent, you have to add 1,087.93 euros. And then, if dalawang dependent, it's yung additional na isang dependent ay 362.64 euros. And then, anyone after that, yung plus 362, yung i-add mo. And then, for example, if you are a family of 5, so it would be 2,901.15 euros plus 1,087.93 euros. Tapos, plus 362.64 euros times 3. So, it will be in total, yung magiging annual mo is 60,924 euros. So, yun yung magiging annual mo dapat. Ayun. So, definitely, that is yung income requirement breakdown. Let's try to answer some of your questions first. Din po ba ng tourist visa ang dependent? Yes, need din ng tourist visa ng dependent. Spain versus BLS. We'll definitely talk about that a little bit later. Family of 4, roughly 4,700-ish. Wow, ayan na. The math people are here. Ayan, galing naman. Ang bilis na. I'm currently living here in Spain. Oh, hi! Welcome! Which city po kayo? Kapag po ba nag-apply sa UHE, yung main applicant, and hindi pa po kasama yung dependent, okay, need pa din ba ng tourist visa? So, if hindi kasama yung dependent, and then let's say, pumunta yung main applicant dito, in-apply na din, pati yung dependent. Kasi pwede mo yung gawin, na-applyin mo na din yung dependent mo. Ang mangyayari niyan, kailangan pa din si dependent ipakita yung approval letter sa BLS kasi sa consulate pa din niya makukuha yung 1-year digital nomad visa. Then, pagkarating niya dito, makukuha niya yung 3 years na TIE. Pero, ang problem kasi doon is, ngayon sa BLS, they're starting to be strict. Kahit na may approval na from UHE, they still ask for the original documents. And that means parang isa-second evaluation ka in BLS. So that's why, as much as possible, I don't recommend it unless it's like for special circumstances, like super, like small pa nung baby nyo, that type of stuff. Ayun. Saan okay dumiretso? Spain in case approved for DNV, saan mura magstay? Okay, for cities kasi we'll also be discussing that, but that really depends on you. You have to think of your preference first kasi living here abroad would not be like all fun. Like it will be fun for the first 3 months because a new place, so many things to discover. You have your savings, you know, you have your life together, and dami mong pinagkakabisihan, so you don't think much of like, you know, like a Filipino community. For me, that was really important. Dapat may Filipino community nearby you because it's different. Of course, not all Filipino communities are without its faults, but definitely meron kasi talaga yung one way or another you'll find your people, you know. So definitely for me yun yung important. So depende yan kung ano yung important sa inyo, and we had one live about that then, kung paano yung elimination method kung saan mo gusto magstay in Spain. Nagbibigay ka ba ng work as VA? No po. How to apply? So we do have the DIY guide on our website, and it's the link in my bio din naman. Okay. Family of 5, please. Okay, I think we already did that. How to apply as VA? It would depend dun sa background mo. Kasi usually, for example, if hard sciences, it would be a different, like, mas marami, for example, for hard sciences, mas marami sa LinkedIn. For example, for accountants, ganyan, you will do well if sa remote work, sa deal, ganyan. Oh, hi! Thank you so much, Bricks! And then, of course, if kung ano ka, like marketing, that type of stuff, you'll do well in Upwork, or if general VA services, you also have OLJPH. So, it would really depend on that. Sino pa re-reckon nyo na pwede mag-help sa amin para sa requirements? I'm an 8 years freelancer, multiple clients, 250k salary. So, I actually founded a company. It's called Ate in Spain. We do have a website, www.ateinspain.com. It's weird to say founded a company, ganyan, but it's just really me and my partner, and you know, like we're just trying to keep it as low, like small as possible, like kasi I like meeting people. I like knowing about you guys' cases. I love going on this free consultation calls with you guys and learning more about ano yung frustrations nyo, ano yung goals nyo for, you know, your family, for yourself. So, definitely, we're not a big agency, but we try our best talaga, and we only take a limited amount of clients, but we do have a free consultation call in case gusto mo mag-DIY din. I give you, kumbaga, yung parang blueprint doon sa specific case mo, and you can ask around then yung qualification and stuff like that. Meron na new rate. So far, wala pa. So this is like prediction, but definitely you can follow yung DIY guide group. We'll definitely post it there once we have it up. Wala kasi akong ITR. Pwede ba dyan na lang mag-apply or mas okay dito? So, in the consulate, they really look for, not just look for your income tax return for the past 3 years. So, yun yung hinahanap nila. However, dito sa Spain kasi, ang hinahanap lang nila ay proof of self-employment, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But I also did a post about this in the group. And I also shared it then sa Ate in Spain Facebook group. Facebook page. Ayun. Okay. I think, Pansit Batil Patong. Oh my God! Yes, please. Yun na lang yung dalhin nyo sa akin. Thank you. Hi, ma'am. Yes, let's go. 2026. Ayan. Ate, can I PM you? Plan po kasi namin mag-apply this March po. Sure, you can definitely PM me, but definitely, kasi ang daming nag-PM. I cannot even explain to you guys how many messages I get from all sorts of social media pages. So much better talaga if we do a one-on-one consultation call. It's free naman, so definitely you just have to fill out the survey. Ayun. Now let's go back. Dito naman tayo sa timeline strategy, because a lot of people ask me about this, and like ganyan, for example, like March na kayo mag-a-apply, and for some people, ang akala kasi nila, okay, I get the Schengen visa, I contact ate in Spain pag nasa Spain na ako. So that's not how it works. So usually how it works is, piliin mo kung anong month yung gusto mo lumipad sa Spain. Like kung meron ka ng Schengen visa, okay, ito yung time na mag-a-apply na ako for DNV. Piliin mo yung month na yun, and dapat 2 to 3 months before yung start mo na mag-collect ng documents for your digital nomad visa. So that means you either already hired a consultant or magdagdi-DIY ka na. So meron ka ng plan, ini-implement mo na lang yung strategy mo. And then, yung 4 months before, nung flight date na to, that's the time you're supposed to be applying for a Schengen visa. Kailangan, so far, like, beyond ito. Like, kasi maganda. Kasi you can apply for a Schengen visa 6 months before your flight. Though sometimes, hindi yun recommended na ganun katagal. Kasi, malay ba nila kung employed ka pa around that time, ganyan. So, medyo meron silang mga kineme pag ganun. However, though, I would suggest this timeline because it works for a lot of my clients. Kasi this way, wala masyadong stress, like we're all chill. But definitely, I would suggest doing the Schengen visa first before starting with any of your documents for the DNV, kasi some of their documents do expire, and we all have different capabilities on how we can stay organized and stay on top of things. So I don't want you guys to be collecting documents and then, oh my God, mali pala yung pagkaintindi ko, 6 months from this date pala, ganon. So yeah, definitely that's why I say this timeline in general to clients. And then of course, eto namang let's talk about naman sa parang, if mag-a-apply kayo like more than 6 months from now or something. So first is, kailangan nyo muna i-verify if your company is okay with switching you to, kung kunyari remote employee ka, to switching you to independent contractor, kung okay ba sila na pumunta ka ng Spain, or ano yung kailangan mong documents and meron ba sila nun. Para at least beforehand pa lang, before ka pa kumuha ng Schengen visa, medyo alam mo na if parang tagilid. Kasi you actually need a couple of documents from them. Not a lot, but it really helps. It really helps, guys, na cooperative yung client nyo. And if hindi, medyo magkakaroon ka ng problem around that. Yeah, there are some documents you can get individually, like without them. But of course, you need like yung addendums or yung contract. Kasi I know a lot of guys na VA, ganyan. Even me, I'm guilty of this as well. Na kung may raise ako, it's all on email threads or verbal yung usapan, walang contract addendum or walang letter, or in the beginning pa lang ng working nyo, wala na talaga kayong contract ever since. So, for those things, you have to really like watch out doon. Other than that, of course, dito nasa 6 months is where I would suggest to start the paper trail or e-trail. Ensure na yung bank statements nyo and payslips is properly aligned. Dapat magre-reflect na dyan yung 2026 na requirements. Kasi may mga clients ako na will onboard with me like 2 months, 3 months before, ganyan. Well, that is okay. Pero yung mga less than that, like 2 months, like less than 2 months, ganyan. And then I will see their bank statements. Tapos may inconsistencies, may problem. They definitely have a problem with that. They will flag you doon sa DNV application nyo if hindi consistent yung pagpasok ng income, either by date or by yung amount. So, make sure na may some sort of regularity yung pagpasok ng pera. Ngayon naman, 3 months before, ito yung parang golden window. So, this is the time na, especially if magdi-DIY kayo, to start getting all of your documents. Because, for sure, ito, hindi pa mag-expire kung kukunin mo na siya 3 months before your flight or 3 months before your application date. Kasi you can request na your NBI clearance kasi valid to for 6 months from issuance date. But of course, Spain prefers them na medyo fresh. So I would suggest na mga 3 months para then if ever na need nyo mag-reapply or stuff like that, you can get it pretty much fresh. Thank you so much, Bricks! Oh my God, thank you. And then of course, request your medical certificate if mag-a-apply kayo sa consulate. Kasi sometimes it takes a while for the laboratory results to come up. And also, 90 days from your collection or like from your doctor's visit, yung validity nito for consulate. And then, apostle everything via DFA. Kasi nasa 3 months window ka na, so hindi na yan mag-expire for sure. Ang mga probably, ang kulang mo lang, dito yung parang T-1 month na lang, is of course, finalize mo yung mga, pwede namang to be followed na, yung mga health insurance, ganyan, if you're applying in consulate. Tapos, pwede din kasi na in less than 1 month mo i-start yung sworn translation. So, tsaka ka na magpa-sworn translate pag kompleto na lahat para hindi tingi-tingi. Kasi usually, yung bulk na pagpapatranslate, mas makakamura ka doon. Also, another thing here is that, for example, yung COE mo, mas better if parang 1 month before yung date ng COE mo. Para makita na, okay, like, ongoing pa and very fresh pa yung relationship niya with client. Another thing that I would add is yung sa bank statements and invoices needs to be updated yan at least a week before. So, kunin mo yung bank statement mo a week before your flight. Tapos, most likely than not, if you're DIYing, it will take you about pagka-land mo dito, it will take you about 48 hours kasi kailangan mo bayaran yung tax fee in a bank. So, baka it will take you 48 hours to submit. So, you have to take that into account. Ayun. Other than that, I think I explained the timeline naman. No? But if you have questions about the timeline, let's try to answer some of the questions here. Okay, give me 1 second. Hello, is online business digital products qualified for DNV as long as it reached the monthly income requirement? No and yes. If it's usually with small businesses, it's a sole proprietorship. The problem there is, technically speaking, you have a couple of problems. First, the certificate of registration is under your name. So it looks like it's your business. And they don't like that. Because that looks like ikaw yung stability ng company. They want to see that the company is stable. That's why they ask na 1 year na yung company established. But if they see your name there, okay, the company is like yours. So, it doesn't make sense. Second is that if corporation kasi, then that means hindi makikita yung name mo doon. So, technically, as long as iba yung assignatory sa contract mo, iba yung assignatory sa COE mo, then that could work. However, yung another thing with digital products is that you probably don't have an invoice or yung pasok sa bank statements mo is hindi regular salary payment. So, you have to show na salary payment siya, like either 15/30, weekly, or monthly. Ayun. Hello po, new ako sa live. How about po kapag student or job seeker visa? Any tips where to apply? Oh, I'm sorry. I do not really like, I haven't tried yung student and job seeker visa, so I'm not really like sure. Okay, next is how to get po NIE. We do have a video and we do have it on the DIY guide, yung step-by-step to how to get your NIE from the consulate. How much in peso yung monthly income dapat? So, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but you have to Google it, guys. Kasi, nag-iiba lagi yung palitan. And you have to meet the minimum income requirement at the time of chine-check nila yung documents mo. So, that's why I don't do na, okay, saktong 2,763, qualified ka. I would suggest na medyo may leeway ka for the fluctuation ng currency. Where to apply VA po? I think we already talked about that, but you have OLJ, you have Upwork, Dun sa financial documents, need pa ba Wise and Pioneer transactions or bank statement lang okay na? Depende kung saan mo siya nare-receive. So, kung saan mo siya nare-receive directly from client, then that's what you have to show. So, if nare-receive mo siya from Wise or Pioneer, you have to show your Wise or your Pioneer bank statements. How about po sa may sariling business? I think we already talked about that. Need po ba same date of payout or pwede po na days or early or late? Okay lang yung early or late naman yung payout. Wala naman problema. They understand that na banking systems and stuff has its nuance. It's just it has to be may regularity. Okay, kung weekly talaga may sinesend ganon. Hi, Alex. Oh my God, I miss you guys. Thank you, Kuya Josh. If naubos yung laman ng pumasok na pera pero consistent sa invoice, is there an issue? So, do you mean pagkapasok ng pera, nagagastos ka agad siya? Wala naman yung problem because they don't really look for bank parang balance. Hindi nila tinitignan yung savings mo. However, this is coming from me that moved here. You do have to have some savings. Yes, hindi nila tinitignan yung savings, but you have to have some savings coming here. That's really important. I don't want you guys to come here and then, I don't know, maghirap kayo or something like that. It's definitely not what I'm about. So, I'm gonna give it real to you guys. They don't look at savings. However, if my dependents ka, of course, they wanna see na you can support your dependents. And then also, how are you gonna buy yung, ano mo, diba, like, yung plane ticket mo, how you gonna afford to live here if yung kinikita mo ngayon is nauubos na siya sa Philippines. Ayun. Other than that, ate been with my client for 6 years, pero February pa po ang start ng increase. 3 months will start sa Feb. So, then you can apply maybe, if 3 months yung start sa February, April, maybe you can apply May or onwards. Mas better kasi yung 6 months yung pinapakita na bank statement. Pero 3 months lang talaga yung requirement nila. But I always tell clients na mas better makita nila yung 6 months. Okay, hello po, may new income requirement na po ba for 2026? We just talked about it na wala pa namang official, but we do have some predictions of 3% and 5%. And you can rewatch that on YouTube sa Monday kasi I'll re-upload naman itong live na to. Thank you so much, Des. Yes, you can visit our website, atainspain.com, or send email using contact@atainspain.com. Hello po, paano po mag-apply? We do have the DIY guide on the website as well. Hi, Shaina! I miss you din. Tagal kong di nag-live. Anong month po pinaka-busy sila and most likely mag-admin silence? December and August. So, I would stay away from December, January early, and late July and buong August. I would stay away from those. Convert to euro, medyo kulang. Pero I think it can compensate sa savings. You can compensate savings if you're applying directly here in UHE. That does not work in the consulate. Also, that's still a risk. So, as much as possible, kasi magagastos ka na with Schengen visa and all that, I would definitely suggest to meet the minimum income requirement. Usually kasi ang pinaka mataas pa lang na i-submit namin for savings is about 200 euros yung kulang nila. But that's a family of 4. So, it makes sense that they got approved. Or, I mean, in my opinion, it makes sense they got approved kasi ang taas talaga nung kailangan mong ma-meet if you have multiple dependents. Thank you guys for sharing the live. Nag-offer din kayo ng sworn translation. So, with sworn translations, so I do have a list of sworn translators that I connect my clients to, pero that is separate. Basta hinahanapan ko lang sila nung pinakamura. So I try to canvas as much as possible. But yeah, that's separate from my fee. Pa-consult kami sa requirements. Yeah, sure. You can definitely book a consultation naman with me. I cannot like give you kasi yung proper consultation if we don't talk like in person. I'm very bad at texting and I'm bad at social media. I mean, obviously, I'm kind of bad at social media, but I'm trying to. But ang dami kasi, I still haven't replied to all of the messages on all the social media today. So, you probably will get buried under a lot. So, I don't wanna take days din naman. Hello ate, dito po ako UAE. Okay na ba yung police clearance ng UAE or need pa rin kumuha ng NBI clearance? You need to get both. So if you're a resident ng UAE or you've been working there, you've been staying there for the past 2 years, then yeah, you need yung police clearance that needs to be apostilled as well there in UAE. And then need mo pa din ng NBI clearance. As an OFW, you can get this with an authorized representative as well. But what I would suggest is that unahin mo, make sure you go to the Philippine Embassy kung saan ka man sa UAE, and make sure alam mo kung ano yung step-by-step procedure nila. Kasi some Philippine embassies actually, nagpa-process talaga sila ng NBI clearance. And try mo din if pwede mong makuha siya online kung wala ka namang hit. About the proof of self-employment, can you talk about, yeah, we'll talk about that naman a little bit later. COGS po ba dapat apostille? So yeah, the certificate of good standing, or ito yung document showing that the company you're working for has been in existence and in good standing with their taxes and all that. Ito yung ipapakita mo. Yes, kailangan siya apostille. So kung saan siya nanggaling, dun mo siya ipapa-apostille. If $3K pasok na po ba? It would depend sa palitan po ngayon ng dollars to euros. What if po mother yung dependent? Pwede po ba yun? If your mother is elderly, or for example, more than 8 years old, it's an easy case. However, for cases that I've handled with their mother being the dependent, there were a lot of additional documents na we prepared. And we got asked for pa rin ng more. Required na po bang ITR? Yes, sa consulate. Okay, I think I've answered everything for now with that cut off. Now we can go to sa appointment setting, because some of you guys forget this. You start doing your documents, hindi pa kayo nagbubook ng appointment for your BLS if mag-apply ka ng DNV sa consulate, or minsan for your Schengen visa. So don't forget, as a rule of thumb, I don't know if it's just me na medyo OC with stuff, but I always go na, okay, if magpapa-appointment ako, if gusto ko makapunta ng appointment ng, for example, February, I'd book it in January or even earlier than that, as long as mag-open na yung slots. So that's what you guys need to do. Kasi usually they are out of slots. Like if January kayo ngayon, most probably ang slots na yan ay for February na. So yeah, yung sa BLS Manila, often kasi nagre-release sila ng slots in batches. So, need mo to check at specific intervals. Like, usually, minsan 12 a.m. and then maglalabas sila ng 12 p.m. Ganyan. But definitely, another thing that you could do is to make sure na hindi mag-glitch yung BLS website on your end. So, hindi naman sa mabilisan yung sa BLS mawala. Pero they do open earlier slots sometimes. So, I remember one client, nung nag-una siyang nag-check, wala nang slots for late January. And then, biglang nag-open yung slots para sa next week of January. So, definitely, kailangan nyo lang din minsan na i-check din kung may maaga pa na, na slots na mag-open. And of course, for UHE route naman, don't forget, hindi nyo na kailangan mag-book ng DNV appointment sa BLS, but you do need a Schengen visa. Ayun. For the next naman, okay, let's go to the next part. Okay, I think I already, guys, I reminded you about a couple of things. First is, but I want to reiterate to about dun sa minimum income requirement. Remember yung 12 versus 14 payments na rule. So, if you're getting paid weekly, you're under the 14 months na rule. So, you have to meet yung annual income, if ever, or you have to present your case very diligently to show kung ano yung monthly income mo. And then, if monthly ka naman nababayaran or by monthly, no, not by monthly, 1530 or 15.1 minsan sa iba. Yeah, then definitely that's okay. That's your clear-cut case dun sa monthly income requirement. And then, don't forget dun sa currency fluctuations. Kasi what can be the currency right now may not be the currency pag the time na mag apply ka. Since bumababa taas siya. To be honest with me, nangyari din to na parang I had to change yung COE ko kasi nakuha ko siya parang 3 months before ako nag-apply. Parang dinraft ko na siya, tapos papapirma na lang. And then, nung napapirma ko na siya nung 1 month before the application, tapos tinignan ko, wait, parang mali na yung conversion rate na nandito. So, you have to make sure of that. So, maglagay ka ng buffer of like at least 5 to 10% nung PHP or USD na currency exchange with euro. Kasi, hindi mo rin alam kung ano yung nangyari ngayon sa economy. Ngayon naman, sa proof of relationship, if may dependents ka, I also want to remind you guys, yung mga birth certificates and marriage certificates do not really expire. However, yung apostle would be best if kunin nyo siya around the 3-month or 6-month period. Para then, just in case lang, i-flag siya ng uhe, then at least it's valid for 6 months pa din. Ayun. Other than that, I want to talk a little bit about the Filipino fast track to citizenship because a lot of people always ask me this in the group. So, sa Filipinos kasi, or for other countries that, like I think Ibero-American countries, we only really need 2 years of legal residency. And the digital nomad visa like counts for 2 years of legal residency. And in context for 2026, actually the first wave of the 2023 or 2024 DNV holders will be applying na for citizenship. So, we'd really love to see, like, especially, like, ako din, I'll be applying probably by the end of the year, citizenship. So I'd really love to see other DNV holders get it, and definitely I'll try to repost them then sa TikTok or wherever they would post, so you guys would also be updated because they'll probably share then yung process nila, timeline and stuff like that. Ayun. Other than that, I know that you guys are also requesting for me to talk a little bit about yung bagong self-employed rules. So with the self-employment rules, there's really there's a new update in UHE where basically not necessarily na nasa main requirements na siya, but there are a significant amount of people that get asked about additional requirement na proof of self-employed registration. What does it means in the context of Filipinos? So that means pwede mong ipakita either mayor's permit ng sole proprietorship, DTI registration, BIR certificate of registration, or your SSS payments na active member ka since this date, ganon. And you had monthly contributions, ganyan. Whether they check the date, we're not sure yet. I've had clients na pretty new yung BIR COR nila, but January yun. So, I don't know if they just count it as, oh, okay, nare-renew siya every year, ganon. Maybe that's what they thought it was. So, I don't wanna say to people na, okay lang, mag-register ka na pag malapit na, ganon. So, I don't wanna say that to people. Kasi ang another risk actually ng BIR certificate of registration or getting these documents and then not paying your taxes is that you might get audited by BIR. So, it will become an even bigger problem than it's supposed to. So, I definitely recommend if meron kang SSS before working in corporate to switch to voluntary and then start paying that, because that is kind of more straightforward route. Hindi mo naman kailangan i-match kasi hindi naman nakikita doon kung magkano yung binabayaran mo. So, it can be the minimum and that's fine. Wala namang problema yon in context of applying for the digital nomad visa. But definitely, if meron ka lahat nito, then even better for your case. So, ayun. Let me see. Let's answer some of the comments then. Okay. Let me see. Ayan. If hindi registered ang freelancing job and di rin naguhulog sa SSS, then you don't have any proof of self-employment registration in your country of origin. So that's gonna be a problem. So I'd suggest mag-register ka na sa BIR and start paying your taxes. Yung sinesend kasi ni client is yung sahod ko and then the rest of my team. How do you declare it? You have to separate it. Otherwise, it would look sketchy. However, with one of my clients, what we are planning to do is meron kasi siyang meron siyang sole proprietorship and dun sa company account, papasok yon and then yung company account yung magsasend sa personal bank account niya. Also, if more than required income, do you declare more or just the required amount? If you have multiple clients, hindi mo naman kailangan i-declare like yung full, like lahat ng clients mo. Kung kunyari, dalawa lang need mo, isa lang need mo, then pwedeng yun lang, yung fulfill mo yung documents. Wala namang problema. Oh, the BIRCOR means Certificate of Registration. May alam po ba kayo kung saan pwede mag-apply? So you can either apply in the consulate or in Spain directly. You can check out our website www.ateinspain.com for the DIY guide. Pag 100k monthly income, hindi pwede. Hindi po kasi it's too below the minimum income requirement. However, you can try to find other clients para maabot mo yung minimum income requirement kasi pwede naman ang multiple clients. All 3 freelance contracts apostilled. Yung sa Upwork saying freelancer for 8 years need apostilled? No, it doesn't need to be apostilled naman. How much na ang required salary this 2026 with one dependent? We did talk about that earlier in the live and you can rewatch the live on YouTube naman on Monday. But definitely, we don't have the final yet. Wala pa silang ina-announce. But we do have predictions of 3% and 5% na increase. Hi, Miss. Okay. Miss Alex, I want to start this process, but you don't have availability till February. Yeah, I'm really sorry because I'm serious. I don't fake it or anything, but it does get booked a month in advance, usually. But what we are starting to offer now, kasi usually mga 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., is all consultation calls. So that's where I do consultation calls or admin work, with my clients. And then usually the rest of the day is reserved for clients or after actually ng 5 p.m. That's when I start working my work as a freelancer. But we started offering emergency consultations, but this one's paid because that means I have to miss work. So I have to take an hour off work ko talaga. Then so we do have paid emergency consultations now. So you just email us. First you still have to fill out the form, and then meron doon you just have to check off if you need an emergency consultation, and it's 40 euros for 45 minutes, and you have to leave there kung ano yung availability mo time and date wise, so I can see if available din ba ako around that time. So there's no guarantee that I'll be able to take everyone on for emergency consultation. I'm really sorry kasi I'm just one person. But yeah, definitely if mag-match naman yung natin, as long as it's not Saturday or Sunday, as much as possible kasi that's my rest day talaga. So, ayun. Yun lang naman. Okay. Ma-consider po ba ang experience as admin in public for 4 years? Yeah, of course. That's experience. As long as, kunyari, administrative virtual assistant ka din, ganyan. As long as ma-connect mo siya either sa job title mo or sa industry. Thank you so much, Cha, for answering some of the questions and Des as well. Yung sa akin, dalawang direct client, 1,400, 1,300 USD. Both 3 months, but yung new ko is 1,200 USD. Wala pang 3 months. So, it's much better to wait for matapos yung 3 months din dun sa isa. Then, sobra ka pa sa minimum income requirement, you won't have any problems. Ano po, required monthly salary to have a digital nomad visa. So we do have it here, yung right now, here, 2,763 monthly. But we also talked a little bit about the prediction kung ano, yung magtataas. Kasi magtataas siya every year. So we did talk about that earlier in the live then. Di po ba yun much better pag ma-admin silence para sure na approve na after 20 days? No, it's not good because yes, sure ka na, but they take time. They can take a month or 2 months or 3 months to reply for your actual approval letter. And even then, out of siguro like about I don't accept kasi usually clients around that time ng December and especially here sa UHE, ng December and ng August. But there were clients na, you know, that's the only time they could really qualify, whatever. So, I totally understand. Wala namang problema. However, the problem with that is usually positive administrative silence. I don't like that kasi, for example, if they come here with a Schengen visa, then they risk overstaying here for months without any proper residency. So, may mga ganong problema. So, I definitely do not recommend. Kasi kung qualified ka naman, as long as completed requirements mo, wala namang, like, denial here na outrageous. Hindi ka gaya sa consulate na doesn't even make sense. Bakit sila na-deny? If you guys know yung post ko, medyo rant post on the DIY guide group because that was really confusing. And I still get messages of people getting denied ngayon sa consulate. So, yun yung difference with UHE. UHE has actually, like, ito yung documents, kung kompleto kang documents, walang problema sa documents mo, then perfect. Wala namang problema. If admin silence kasi, medyo shaky talaga yun. Ayun. Yung sa akin, okay, na-answer na yan. Ma'am, pag NLV po ba, 2 million po ba dapat nasa bank account? Yeah, kailangan 2 million and dapat may passive income ka din na na-reach yung SMI nila. Consistent for 5 years. Okay. Wise payment. Ginamit lang po for some passive income. Not in the bank. I'm not sure what this means po. I'm sorry. Would PayPal invoice suffice as proof of income instead of bank statement? No. You have to show your bank statements. Kasi they also look at the cash flow. Hello, Miss Alex. About the proof of self-employment, okay lang po ba ngayon lang ako mag-register? Planning to apply end of May. Yeah, pwede lang naman. Wala naman yung problema. Missed your live po. Hi, Joe! Yung sa akin po, 2 direct client. Okay, na-answer ka na to. Paano po if hindi kasi nagsasave sa bank? Tapos nasa crypto, MP2, tapos lately bumili ng lote consistently. That's fine. As long as makikita nila yung labas ng pera is pumupunta somewhere. So they don't really look at your savings for DNV. However, you might have a problem with Schengen. You have to really show yung paper trail saan pumupunta yung pera. Also, if more than the required income, do you declare more or just the required amount? Yung required lang na amount. However, if isa lang yung client mo, tas above the required income, you have to declare it all. Advisable po ba if 2 bank accounts to present for the salary and for the savings? Yes, that's perfect. Wala namang problema yun. Ano po required monthly salary to have the digital nomad visa? Okay, I think we already went. Oh, hi, Ate Alex. Hi po. Hi, lovely. What if ngayong year pa lang po ako mag-register sa BR? So far, wala pong problema yun. Though I cannot fully assure you with this kasi this has only been asked around late November. So far, only with my clients anyway, konti pa lang yung nahingan. So parang around only like 9 of them that asked for this. And most of them may SSS from previous employment. So, maaga yung registration date doon. Yung mga pero however, yung 3 na may bago na DTI tsaka BIR, na-approve naman sila. So, however, I'm not sure kasi if maybe it's the busy season. So, nung nag-submit kami, they just got approved by UHE via hindi masyadong binasa, ganon. Or are they really not that thorough when it comes to the date? Kasi technically, ang sinasabi lang naman doon, proof na registered ka in your country of origin. Wala namang date or anything that there, no? But of course, yun yung consensus right now. Hello, ma'am. Pag currently working as admin sa DepEd for force, do you think experience will be considered? Yeah, of course. Considered naman yun. If approved for DNV visa via UHER route, renewal is 3 years after, and do we have to submit all the income documents again? No, not necessarily. So you only have, if you are still working with the same clients, you just have to show yung latest invoice mo for like 3 months na nare-reach mo yung bagong minimum income requirement. So you don't have to submit it all over again. And you don't need the NBI clearance anymore if more than 6 months na issued yung TIE. Ano pong work nyo? So I'm a web developer, but I also do like web designs and stuff like that on the side. In your opinion, mas better po ba dyan mag-apply sa DNV or here sa Philippines? Always here sa OHE. You get the 3 years right away. So even if ma-discontinue yung DNV, wala kang problema. You already have the 3-year residence card. So maka-qualify ka for the 2-year na legal residency to apply for citizenship. Unlike, for example, you get the 1 year there and then let's say ma-discontinue yung DNV because, you know, the golden visa, which was also a big visa here, got discontinued. So we don't know if maybe the DNV gets discontinued. Tapos kailangan mo pa hintayin na close to expiration date yung validity ng DNV mo bago ka makapag-reapply nung 3 years. So, alam mo yan. So, and also the consulate is very thorough for your tax compliance. Dapat po ba makita sa ITR na same amount sa income requirement na dapat ko ma-meet? If ipapasa mo yung income tax return mo, then yes. If approved for DNV, okay, we already did this. Okay. Okay, I think we did all of this naman na. Ayan. Ayun. Let's go naman sa next topic natin, which is the housing crisis and empadronamiento. Kasi I get a lot of these questions. Sorry. Ayan, I get a lot of these questions about if mahirap daw makahanap ng apartment here, saan daw dapat maghanap, ganyan. And what I can say is, una sa lahat, of course, in 2026, the Madrid, Barcelona, Valencia housing crisis, the finding a rental place here would be harder than getting the visa sometimes. I had friends that it took them like 2 months to find a proper place, and even then they didn't really like the place. They just had run out of options at that point. So yes, there is a housing crisis, but not necessarily how you think it is. Kasi there is so much more than just these big cities. And for example, if you guys follow Aliana here on TikTok, I follow her, so you can look at like my followings. But Aliana, they just moved here in Spain. They lived in Salamanca, which is one of the cities I definitely recommend because the DNV community there is so warm. Everyone is so nice and helpful. Yun kasing importante when you're moving abroad, I feel, is that there's already someone na you can talk to and will make this a lot easier on you. Kasi they have the same visa as you. They're Filipinos. They know how the process works, kung paano nila to ginawa. You know, sobrang warm ng community sa Salamanca and in Alicante as well. So, these cities, madali makahanap. So, like, for example, sila Aliana, parang the same day na nag-viewing sila, they already got an apartment. And it's a good apartment, and it's a very fair price, to be honest. Para ka lang, like, pricing sa Makati, ganon. Yeah, of course, mas mahal dito talaga yung housing. However, hindi siya yung super, like, mahal. And then, of course, there's also, like, other smaller cities, like Oviedo, Gihon. There's also, like cities like Zaragoza, ganyan. Not small cities, but hindi pa sila ganon ka-known. So, they're a little bit, like, tight-knit pa yung community and mas mura pa talaga yung rental doon. And also, Extremadura, so they're, like, one thing then as well. So, yun, definitely that is something to look out for. That, of course, you cannot get your TIE, which is your residence card, without an empadronamiento if you're living in other cities that's not Madrid or Barcelona. In Madrid and Barcelona, there is a special appointment that you could get, but it's very hard to get. And also, minsan kailangan mo pang palitan yun sa new address mo. So, mas better, maghanap ka po na talaga kung saan yung magiging apartment nyo, kumuha ng empadronamiento, which is parang barangay certificate, ganon. And then, tsaka ka kumuha ng TIE. And this TIE, especially for your dependents, gives them, like, authorization to work legally here in Spain. Then, tsaka pa lang sila pwede maghanap ng work. And then, of course, like I suggest looking at other cities, like, Malaga is also like a little bit expensive na, and Seville. But Alicante, they said, is starting to get, yung other parts of Alicante, especially the city center, is starting to get a little bit hard na din to find an apartment. But definitely look into it pa din, because a lot of my friends live there, and they've had good naman na parang sa rental process, hindi sila ganun nahirapan. Okay, other than that, let's answer some questions. What's your niche po? Any recommended niche? I am a web developer. Recommended niche is really depends on you. Kasi depende yan sa degree mo, sa strengths mo and stuff. If you're starting from scratch, I suggest to do your research of something na you think on long term kaya mong gawin. Ayun, is there a specific VA niche that is required to apply? No. Nasabi ko po kay Avi Oviedo po, plan ko, hoping na may options pag nag-move na kami. Yeah, definitely. I think there would be options because Oviedo is not like saturated pa naman. If sa Spain, di na rin need registered as self-employed. No, you still need to be registered as self-employed. Yun na yung bago na hinahanap nila ngayon, Popo. May way po ba makakuha ng DNV without needing to file ITR? If you have SSS, ganon, yes. But definitely you can rewatch this live later on sa YouTube. Kasi we talked about that. Pag magpapabook po for NIA, can you choose a date? No, they give you a date the available for them. Miss Alex, if I register my business now January, when should I apply for DNV? You can definitely apply 3 months from now or 6 months from now, depending then with your other documents, kung gaano mo sila kabilis makuha and stuff like that. Hi, sis. Hi! Oh my God, hindi ko ata naabutan yung batch nyo. Or I'm just not familiar with your name here on TikTok, John Joseph. Pwede po mag-study for college degree kapag may DNV. Yes, you can study actually if kahit ikaw yung main applicant or dependent. But you cannot work. Ate Alex, pagka-approved sa Schengen, mag-start na ng DNV, claiming po ma-approve. Yeah, yes, lovely, of course. Hoping na mabilis din yung approval nyo for Schengen. What if you're receiving pay in crypto? It depends. Is it stable coins? Kung USDT and stuff, then it's much more stable. And we've handled 2 clients that did it this way. However, I would fully suggest, I need yung full, like, story here. Like, I need to know paano siya pumapasok exactly to your account, paano mo siya ginagastos and stuff like that. My way po ba? Okay, we did that. What if po mawalan ka ng client kapag nandyan na sa Spain? So, generally speaking, you have 30 days to find another client to meet the minimum income requirement. Kasi, not that there's anyone that this happened to, but ang sabi nila is that, of course, they, especially if you're aiming for citizenship or permanent residency, they do check your social security, kung gaano ka nag-stick sa residency mo or sa visa mo na like legal ka, wala kang ginawang anything untowards during that time. So, I would suggest, if mawalan ka ng client, to find it first as soon as you can. And if hindi ka talaga pa makahanap, why I say na dapat need mo ng savings, is try mo muna na bayaran pa din yung taxes, na reach pa din ng minimum income requirement, para hindi ka magkaroon ng parang butas when it comes from your citizenship. Ayun. What if po mag-apply muna sa consulate, then mag-apply ulit sa Spain for extension for 2 to 3 years. So it's not an extension actually. The visa that you get from the consulate is different from the residency that you get here in Spain. Yes, it's both under the digital nomad visa, technically speaking, but it is different. One is a visa and one is a residency. So yung dito actually is a new application. So it won't be a renewal or an extension. However, the problem with this is recently yung mga 1 year na nagtatry ma-convert into 3 years, pagkarating nila here in Spain, nagkakaroon ng problema. Sinasabi sa kanila na mag-wait muna sila 60 days before mag-expire yung kanilang DNV visa before mag-apply. And the problem there is, mas mataas na yung minimum income requirement. You have to get some documents again, need to get it apostilled again, sworn translated again, kasi expired na yon by the time na mag-a-apply ka. So, that's my thoughts on that. That's why I tell people, as much as possible, if kaya na sa UHE mag-apply, sa UHE na lang directly mag-apply. Magkano need if DNV tapos family of 4 kayo? So we do have a post here, and also we talked about that like early on then. And definitely I'll try to post something on Monday about yung predictions ng 3% and 5%, just so you guys have an idea of it. So better join then our DIY group on Facebook. You can find the link in my bio then. Need din po ba ng tax? Not necessarily it has to match your income tax return if you're applying here in Spain. However, if sa consulate ka, yes, need talaga yan. I only have one client and qualified naman sa income requirement, but the rest of the team is added sa pay. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you're an agency owner kasi yung itsura niyan. So, I would definitely try na mag-ano ulit. Like, mag-separate. I-separate yung pay mo. At least for kahit 3 months lang na i-separate yung pay mo from the rest of your team. Kasi hindi siya magmamatch dun sa contract mo and sa COE mo. Wala namang specific number of clients na required as long as 200k per month ang income. Yes, wala naman. Kahit isa lang yan or dalawa, walang problema. Actually, mas may problema if more than 5 yung clients mo kasi it shows na just to meet the minimum income requirement, you have to do multiple. And also, minsan kasi yung mga contract full-time tapos pinagsasabay-sabay. So, yun lang naman yung time na magkakaproblema. Pwede po ba mag-study for bachelor's if merong digital nomad visa? Yes po. Do I have to register my business pa talaga? You have to register as sole proprietor for your freelance. Yes. Miss Alex, what if yung Upwork certificate of payment or employment certificate from client? Usually kasi the Upwork one is good to show proof, additional proof, but ultimately kailangan pa din yung nasa listahan natin sa free DIY guide natin sa website. Kailangan nyo pa rin yung sundin. Kailangan pa rin ng independent contractor agreement. Kailangan pa rin certificate of employment. Kailangan pa din ng letter authorizing you to work remotely in Spain. Yung invoices and payslips. Actually, invoices, payslips, accepted yung Upwork transaction summary. Do they ask proof of transaction with client, and is Upwork transaction good enough? Oh, yeah, Upwork transaction is good enough. Instead of invoice or payslips. And then it just has to match your bank statements. Hello, ano pong work nyo? So, I'm a web developer po. How much po and how much to help process with... So, the emergency call is 40 euros for 45 minutes. But we do have the free consultation if you can wait. Kasi usually it's like fully booked a month and a little bit in advance. So, free consultation naman yun. So, if wala naman problema, hindi pa naman kayo nakapag-book ng appointment nyo and stuff, you can wait till then. But of course, we have the emergency call. But this one is outside of my business hours or free consultation call hours usually. Or if meron man doon na mag-cancel, like, pwede kita ilagay, that type of stuff. Ayun. We do have the breakdown then of the cost on our website. It's www.atainspain.com. Okay. I think we're good. We're good naman with that. So, I'll answer the questions ulit later. Ayan. Next naman natin is yung sa... Give me 1 second. Okay, yung autonomo. So, a lot of people were worried kasi there were some talks about magtataas na yung fee for Social Security here in Spain. However, wala pa talaga na wala pa talaga na big thing right now. So, wala pang like eto na talaga siya, ganon. So, definitely, Spain has a tarifa plana or a flat rate. So, ito yung pag first year nyo palang magbabayad. Flat rate yung babayaran nyo, it's around 80 euros per month or 87 euros yung binabayaran ko. But, this is only for the first year. And then, after that, but it helps to transition you, you know, if bago ka pa lang na nag-work, it helps you transition you here sa Spain. But after the first year mo, is babayaran mo siya based kung magkano yung kinikita mo. So, other than that, of course, for freelancers, eventually you need to be an autonomo. So, after mo makuha yung TIE, and all that, kailangan mo mag-register for autonomo. And you have to pay, I'm sorry. You have to pay for Social Security and taxes here in Spain. And I do have a video explaining that. But I'm trying to like do another one then, just to so the updated. And also, I have my annual income tax return na. It's already been filed. So, I want to show that then for you guys. But definitely, there are some people that, especially some clients actually this morning asked me na, oh, once you're in Spain, you have 183 days before you became a Spain tax resident. So, technically, yes, you have 183 days or para kang may 6 months before you can apply. Before you have a deadline to apply as a tax resident. However, since we are seeing, UHE is seeing a rise of people doing it na hinihintay yung 183 days, they did try to twist her arms a little and did announce na kailangan, the moment you get approved, mag-register ka na. As long as meron ka na lahat ng requirements to register, which is sometimes kailangan yung TIE and stuff like that, kailangan mag-register ka na kaagad. I know some people, hindi to like possible kasi maybe they went back to the Philippines and they're gonna come back and stuff like that. But what I highly suggest is as much as possible is mag-register na habang maaga para hindi pwede kasi nilang i-cancel yung visa mo or yung residency mo if nakita nila na hindi ka follow sa rules. And since they just announced this, so it's pretty important and I think they're watching like right now. And also, if for autonomous, we do not really hindi tayo qualified for the Beckham law, yung 24% tax flat rate. So, only remote employees, which is isa lang yung employer nila and employee relationship talaga. Ayun, if 3 months separate ako ng pay ko, once na nasa Spain na ako and receiving money from my team, paano taxes doon? So, you will have problems, you know, you'll have problems kasi ang malalabas sa statement, if i-audit ka nila, if kunyari na flag na ang laki nung nare-receive mo and maliit lang yung ano, so then they will audit you and then it will become a whole thing. So, definitely I recommend to just separate it or establish your sole proprietorship. Open a company bank account. Doon ipasok ni client and then pay yourself from your sole proprietorship. Pwede ba 3 employers? Yes po. Up for my inquiry. I'm not sure what that was. Ma'am, pwede po yung salary requirement di isang bagsakan? 4 to 5 po kasi ang income pumapasok per month. Yeah, pwede naman. Basta as long as kung kunyari weekly ka binabayaran, then weekly makikita nila doon. And then you just have to plus yung weekly mo and stuff like that. Paano po mag-submit sa UHE? Tourist visa, pwede sa airport magdala ng papeles. You can watch, you can actually go watch our I think it's been last year, yung video on how, live on the step-by-step process on how to apply in UHE. And also, we have the free DIY guide, guys. You need to read. You need to read if you want to succeed na mag-DIY. Kasi there are some nuances here that depends on your case. Kailangan talaga nakadepende sa case mo yung nuances of some of the documents and some of the steps that you need to do. nag-shift ka na sa web development, sis, project management ka before, diba? So, I am still like a product management. So, product management is basically web developers are under me, and yun yung, basically we have this, kunyari, we're developing an app, so I do kind of the project management for that, but mainly I do yung web developing. It's just I have a senior role now on yung company namin. So, yeah. Ayun. Paano po mag-submit? Okay. My application passed the 20 working day mark. How long will they confirm my administrative silence? You have to submit a request for positive administrative silence. And then you have to wait. There's no timeline. Some people got it in 10 days. Some people got it after 3 months. So that's why I'm telling people na it's better to not get the positive administrative silence. Out of topic, but you're so pretty po. Oh, thank you so much. Please don't compliment me. I don't know how to accept compliments. Ayun. How long did it take for your employment requirements to be processed and approved prior to your flight? With my case, I applied long before, guys. I applied 2024. So the rules there were it was like 14, 17 business days after I submitted my documents. And then I got my na LBC sa akin yung passport ko. So it was a pretty fast process. But right now, with my clients na nag-a-apply sa consulate, it is taking more than a month na. Magkano po rental nyo sa Spain? Right now, what we're doing apartment namin is about 750 per month plus utilities. How long did it take? Okay, we did this already. Can we work with 1 year experience but worked with agency before an international brand? So as long as you've been yung experience mo doesn't have to be remote. So yung work experience na 3 years can be, for example, nag-work ka sa corporate before and then you switch to freelancing. As long as pareho yung job title mo or in the same industry, then that counts for work experience. If mag-emergency consultation, will it be deducted dun sa total ng fee for services nyo? No po. So, generally, no. Kasi, I charge very low for the fee of my service. I don't know if there's anyone lower than what I charge, but I know I'm the lowest so far in the market dun sa mga main people that's doing DNV services. But it's kind of unfair kasi for me, kasi I do the hourly and then, so for me, that seems like a fair price. Do you prefer provider partner or okay kahit 50-50? What does that mean? What does that mean? Thank you so much. I'll ask my boss now. Yeah, I hope it's good news. Magkano kailangan per dala to live in Spain with a family of 3 to live off for a year using Nomad? Well, you're technically so how do I explain this? The SMI or the minimum income the SMI or the minimum wage here in Spain is half of what you need to meet as a digital nomad visa. So if you're actually meeting that, you will live here fine. So kasi yung minimum wage nila dito is fair, hindi siya kagaya sa Philippines. So I would say na it's fine, but of course for startup costs, for example, your flights. Oh my god, it's raining again. I hate it when it's raining. Feels so gloomy. But for example, yung flights, yung apartment, yung extra costs, like yung pagkuha ng documents and stuff, you need savings for that, for sure. Possibly ba idagdag savings account pag kulang monthly income threshold? Only up to 200 euros. If kulang ng 200 euros. So if, for example, 2,763 yung tinatry mo i-reach and then kulang ka ng 200 euros, 2,563 lang yung kinikita mo, then yeah, pwede siya yung savings. Pero I do not recommend this, you guys. It's too wishy-washy yung rules nila and it only works in UHE. You mean yung isang Pinas 1 year visa lang siya, while yung sa Spain 3 years residency agad siya if ma-approve. Exactly. Correct ka dyan, Days with Cat. stable coins to peso to bank. Do you receive it, Jelly, do you receive it in Coins PH? Because if Coins PH, then it may paper trail na easy. But even with that, it has to be kasi stipulated like very well sa contract mo and sa COE mo. And you have to, of course, explain it. And even with that, I cannot like guarantee it 100%. But usually, it does get accepted naman yung crypto. Paano po kapag pamilyado na? How much po yung minimum income requirement? So, the minimum income requirement, meron din siya with dependents. And I did do a post on that here on TikTok and also on the Ate in Spain Facebook page para alam mo kung ano per dependent, kung ilan kayo sa family mo. Ayos lang po ba magpabook ng free consultation kahit working on the income requirement pa lang po? Wala namang problema. It's just that, if wala ka pang decided kasi na date, what if you meet the minimum income requirement in 6 months or in 1 year? Ganon. So, parang for me, it's better if you book the call pag medyo alam mo na qualified ka na so that we can work on the strategy and stuff. Kasi iba yung strategy if dalawa yung clients mo, if tatlo yung clients mo. If ganit, like, depending on the scenario. And also, I explained to you guys yung step-by-step process na gagawin mo if you're DIYing. So, what if you do meet the minimum income requirement in 6 months? So, paano pag iba na yung rules by then? So, that's why I tell people, it's much better if around 4 months, 3 months before you apply ka mag-book ng consultation call. Because that way, updated yung mabibigay ko sa inyong information. Ayoko naman magbigay ng information na outdated. But definitely, that is still your, prerogative to book the free consultation call. Wala namang problema yan sa akin. Ang ano ko lang is, you only get one of this free consultation call and then the next one is not free anymore. So, it's better to get the free consultation call, get all your questions answered out there. Ang mga previous live mo po nasa YouTube, yes, starting nung November, I think. Yeah, parang before kasi sa Facebook, kasi din-take down pala ng Facebook after 30 days. So, we don't do that anymore. Tama po ba if DNV ang mga dependent ay free sa school like elementary at college? Yes. I'm not sure with college though. Kasi technically, you're not supposed to bring your kids na adult. And, senior high is 18 na, diba? So, ayun. Usually, I think with college, there is a minimal fee pa din na binabayaran. Pero, you can definitely go to like public colleges, ganyan. Ma'am, pwede po ba ang salary ay per week? Oo, wala naman problema yun. As long as yung mga nasa contract mo nakalagay doon, yung breakdown or sa COE mo. Hello po ma'am, legit po ba yung mga rooms na for rent sa Idealista? Yes, legit naman yun. You just have to do your thorough checking then and just, by either spot a home or Idealista ka talaga makikipag-communicate. Ate, what if hindi consistent ang payment sa SSS tas walang ITR? Possible pa po ba? It would depend dun sa SSS mo. What do you mean by hindi consistent? Kasi like I said, dun sa SSS Certificate of Coverage, ang nakalagay lang dyan is yung SS number mo, name mo, kailan ka nag-register, birthday mo, and ilan yung total monthly contributions mo. So technically, they wouldn't know when ka unemployed. That makes sense. Okay, I think I've answered everything up na here. Ate, can I apply as a remote employee for DNV? Yung company ko is PH-based. Yes, you can definitely apply as a remote employee naman. However, there are some nuances here that are very dependent on your company of how sila, kung gaano sila alam mo yun, loose sa sa pagbibigay ng requirements and sa enroll sa'yo with taxes. But it's definitely a harder setup than independent contractor. At is it okay to lose a client once I submitted my DNV application? Yes, as long as you still meet the minimum income requirement naman. How much po usually yung pag-apostilled COGS for a US company? It depends sa state. Some states are more expensive than others. Ma'am, anong magandang city sa Spain na medyo mura? Okay po ba sa Valencia? Valencia is very expensive. If you're looking for mura, I would suggest Salamanca, Oviedo, Gihon, ganon. What's your niche po? So I'm a product manager, but in essence, I'm a web developer. Ma'am, ano pa maganda city po sa Spain na medyo mura? Okay, we answered this. Pabook ako sa'yo ng consultation. Yeah, sure. Wala namang problema. Des left the link. Thank you so much. Best friend ever. So, Des is my best friend from the Philippines. I'm just leaving the links down below. So, thank you so much sa support. May age limit po ba? Wala namang age limit. As long as you're still like, working age. Hindi ka naman retiree or something like that. For working for AU clients, how did you get your certificate of formation and certificate of good standing? So you get it from the ASIC website. You get it apostilled in the Australian embassy near you. Super low ang charge ni Miss Alex compared sa iba. Sa sobrang low, nagtaka na nga. Kinabahan ka na ba? Hi, Bricks. Napatawa ako sa love question. True, nakakaloka kayo. Ano yun, na-miss niyo ba ako masyado? Kasi hindi ako nag-live for like 3 weeks, I think. Ayun. Magkano need na dala na pera to live off? I think I've answered this. I understand and it's okay. Oh, very helpful, especially sa life. I try my best to answer it, but kasi may mga, ayoko sabihin na, hindi qualified or also qualified kasi it depends. So, it's better to do the one-on-one consultations para mas strategize natin together kung paano yung documents mo, paano yung palalabasin, like paano mo siya make sure na it reflects sa documents mo yung talagang state mo as a independent contractor. Pwede naman. Actually, I think one of my clients right now is watching. She did the consultation with me. And nare-reach yung minimum income requirement around that time. And then nawalan siya ng client halfway through. And then she already availed my services. So now nakahanap na siya ng bagong client. We're just waiting for her to hit the 3 months. But we're already gathering documents para wala na kawala tong client na to. Makakapag-apply na tayo kaagad. Ganon. Ayun. Pwedeng from 3 clients yung minimum income requirements. Sorry if this was already asked. Wala namang problema, Jem. Yes, okay naman yan. Yung 3 clients. Schedule na ako ng consultation sa'yo so we can plan ahead. Yeah, let's go. Oh my God, that's too big. And that's so much taxes, Anne. You really need to change your game plan. Need ko para dala for a family of 3 to live off. Okay, I think we did answer this. Okay, I think we did answer those. Not digital nomad related. Marami po ba job opportunities if you know how to speak Spanish? How do I say this? Of course, there are job opportunities. There's job opportunities everywhere. But Spain in the EU is second for the unemployment rate. Like, pangalawa sila sa unemployment rate. And also, there are a lot of jobs, of course. Pero they're very like, very like labor intensive na work. Graduate ka po ba sa AMA University, ma'am? Hindi po. Ano, pick-up line ba yan? Do I really need to maintain the minimum income requirement while on DNV or during renewal lang? No, while you're on the DNV, you have to maintain it. Ang sabi nila, ika-cancel daw nila yun if bumaba ka na sa minimum income requirement. Digital nomad, can me and fiancé combine our salary to match yung requirements salary for 2? No, you can't. So it cannot be. Kailangan kasi yung contracts, yung COEs, yung invoices, nakapangalan lang sa isang main applicant. Okay lang po ba mag-lodge ng application in mid-May? Yeah, wala namang problema yun. I think you just have to worry about yung kalendaryo laboral. I think there's 2 days or something in April. ang konti pa mga Pinoy, but parang Salamanca, I wanna be forced to learn or speak Spanish. Extremadura, may Pinoy doon pero it's a small town, so most likely than not, you have to speak Spanish kasi there's not a lot of expats there. Of course, there are others then, pero I'm not sure kasi. So, I travel a lot, pero like usually outside of Spain or I do south of Spain, ganyan, with my friends. Pero definitely that's something then I can research on and maybe like get back to you on that. Okay. Thank you for sharing the live po. Okay po kaya sa Murcia? Yeah, apparently it's a very good city, and it's still pretty like hindi pa siya ganun ka-saturated. One of my friends actually live there. So yeah. Yun. Is it scary po ba to do DNV alone for a female? I did the DNV alone. I don't have dependents. Though my partner does live in Europe. But I wouldn't say it's scary for a female because actually people are warm here, like in general. Like compared to other European countries that I've been to, Spain are definitely like warm yung mga people dito, especially for Filipinos. However, it is scary. It's always scary to do a new thing, you know, like for me, that's why I did the consulate route first, because first I have my dog with me. I brought my dog with me, so I was scared na andun na kami, and then what if nabenta ko na yung mga gamit ko and hindi pa ako like, you know, like hindi pa ako sure kung okay na ba or everything, like anything like that. So that's something I really thought about first. Second, not necessarily that it was scary, but you really do have to prepare for it. So something that I didn't prepare, I guess, is mentally. Like I didn't prepare na, yeah, I'll be away from my friends, away from family. It's like a new language. So like I remember my first few months here where I'd panic. Like I'd panic kasi hindi gumagana yung internet and hindi ako makapag Google Translate. So I definitely hindi mo need na mag-learn ng Spanish for the visa to get it. But it's very important to at least know some words so that alam mo kung saan pumupunta. Like, negative ba tong interaction na to or positive, gano'n. Mamaya, minumura ka na pala, hindi mo alam. So, yung mga gano'n, like, that's something I'd really suggest. Will you assist talaga ng docs in Manila? Paano yung need docs apostilled from client in the US? So, yeah, I help you through it all, especially since I've handled a lot of cases na din. We're gunning for 100 na clients by end of first quarter of 2026. But definitely, ayun, I assist you from beginning to end. And definitely, we'll talk about that on the free consultation call as well. How do you deal with anxiety if you experience it or possibly losing your clients or job? That's the thing. I do experience anxiety, of course. Like, I think in some way or another, people do experience it. Maybe some people are just not self-aware to have it. But with regards kasi sa client ko, I've been with them for so long and I've been an integral part of the company that I don't really see myself na will get fired for like just like this. But of course, there is a part of me that is anxious of what if like all of this work and I don't get the citizenship, you know, like for me, the anxiety, how I deal with it is you feel your feels. So feel mo lang yung feels mo na yan, you cry it out, you take it out on something, and then you move forward and do an physically exerting na energy, like kailangan ng energy, gano'n. So you either go on a walk, or you go outside, or you do something na will, like, wala yung, kasi pag pagod yung katawan mo, parang pagod din yung utak mo. So that's what I do. But I try to like deal with the feelings. I'm a crier in general. Like, I don't know if you guys know. But I cry. Like, that's why I tell clients na it's a very personal and empathetic thing for me. That's why I don't take a lot of clients. It's because I don't want them to get denied or may something nangyari, I always take it na, okay, like, it's on me. Even though, technically speaking, like, it's not on me. Most of the time, yung mga aberya, ganun. But so, of course, I worry for them and stuff like that. Na-anxiety ako for them. So, even until sa immigration, na, kunyari, meron na silang visa and nasa immigration sila, I would tell them, send mo sa akin yung itinerary mo para alam ko gising ako around the time of application. Even if we had a call before yung submission nila, I try to be awake at the time of submission nila kahit morning yun sa Philippines, and that means madaling araw dito. It keeps me up talaga. But that's really all you could do. You know, you try to like just feel the feels and then tapos na. Okay, 30 minutes na ma-anxiety and then tapos na, ganon. Ayun, yeah. I'm very much an empath. And I think that's I feel like a good way to not be slimy in this industry of consulting and stuff, that you care, you know, like you care at least even just a little bit, you know. And also that's why I cannot take every client then, kasi some people have just, you know, like consultation pa lang, like you're yelling at me or like acting like all entitled. Well, definitely I don't want that energy, you know. So yeah. Hi po, what if Dubai is based kapon na VA? Do we need to pay taxes sa Philippines? No, but you need to show yung merong certificate of freelance registration sa trade license in Dubai. You have to show that. Hi, freelancer here. Paano po magpa-consult? You can go to the link in my bio. We also have our website, www.ateinspain.com/survey. So you answer that, and if you're qualified, you can book a free consultation call. Hello po, can we interview po? Yeah, we can. You definitely message me or email me, Jelly. Hindi ako paiyak. Like, sinisipon lang ako, guys. Kasi sobrang lamig dito. Tapos ulan ng ulan. Tapos nag-snow pa. Oh my God. Sobrang lamig. I can't. Lamigin talaga ako eh. Is it only me? Pagka na-receive yung code, kiniklik ko yung website, yung DNV Consult that was routed sa FB. Pagka-receive ko ng code, kiniklik ko yung website. Oh, I'll definitely check on it if there's any error there. Planning to apply around June this year. When would be the best time to schedule a consultation with you? Let's try to schedule a consultation 4 to 3 months before you're planning to apply, so that I also can see na tama yung setup ng invoices and bank statements mo. And I can ask some questions na you can prepare beforehand. Wala naman yun problema. Mag-help nyo rin po ba kami for Schengen visa if mag-avail po kami ng service nyo for UHE application? I will help, of course, na in a sense of ano ba yung mga need nyo na documents. Ito yung checklist and stuff like that. How do you book an application? But generally, our Schengen visa consultation is separate. So our Schengen visa consultant with Athene Spain is my friend Avi. So Avi does the Schengen visa consultation. I used to do it, but like I said, I'm very much an empath, and the Schengen visa is so stable. So I was like, okay, like I don't want to do this anymore. But I still want to offer a very like hindi ganon kamahal na option for you guys. So I contacted like Avi, and she's now our Schengen visa consultant. So ayun. Nag-book na po ako, willing to pay for a fee for urgent consultation. Yeah, I'll definitely try and reply to all the emails and try to put you guys in the calendar based on your availability. Wala naman yun problema. Love your work setup. Mura lang ba monitors PC dyan? Oh, actually, this monitor is it AOC? I think it's AOC. I got it on sale sa Idealo. It was like for 60 euros each. For a new monitor that's top of the line, I think that's really good. If meron kayong suggestions for a new, because I'm thinking of a new, ang tagal ko na tong background. Well, I don't really look at it that much. But in the live, like, I always see it. So I was thinking like, maybe do something like very Athene Spain, coded, ganyan. Yeah, it's super mura. I got it on sale sa Idealo, and it came parang 3 days after. Ganon. Kasi dinala ko yung PC ko kasi we built. My partner and I, we're both IT adjacent. So, we built my PC. Actually, so I didn't want to leave it in the Philippines because it's not more than like 6 months old. So, I bought it. Kinalas ko siya and then dito kami bumili ng case. So that hindi ko dala-dala yung case. And we got a pretty cute case. So, yeah. Ayun. But I'm thinking of upgrading it actually to a smaller one. I saw someone na parang ganito lang kaliit yung ano nila. I saw one in a work cafe, sa Santander Work Cafe. Parang ganito lang yung CPU nila kaliit. Parang shoebox. I was like, oh my God, that's such a good idea for a PC. Kasi I'm a PC girly talaga. Hindi ako maka-work sa laptop. I can't. I like the worst case scenario yung laptop talaga when we travel, ganyan, tapos sa train, ayun, kasi I don't want, pero usually I'd rather na mag any desk sa PC ko with my phone than work on a laptop. When ang pinakamaagang reply na na-experience mo sa UHE applications? Around 15 business days. What's the possible way? But I can find a way for budget. What do you mean, Pojoy? Planning to move din sa Spain and get a residency, but I'm a housewife without any background sa work. I think you should look into NLV if you don't have work. How would they know that my income lowered, not matching SMI? Through taxes? Yes, through taxes. But however, just like in the Philippines, I don't know if they're that thorough with checking it, but just in case, I don't want to give you guys untoward advice. May available service po kayo sa ITR processing for Schengen visa. Feb pa kasi yung schedule na consultation. So, I do have a friend. Her name's Lenny. And she has a business. If magre-register kayo. If wala kayo sa Philippines or if di kayo marunong mag-register for DTI BIR, she does offer services for that. I'll post her in the DIY guide group today. Just like dealing with like this and all that, but definitely I'll show that and then we'll get on. You can probably contact her directly. In saving na money from Schengen visa application so I can apply for Spain digital nomad. What do you mean? Sorry, pwede pa buo noon, hindi ko na gets. Magkano po ang minimum hourly wage sa Spain? I don't really know, but I know that their minimum wage here is about 1,300 something for euros per month. Pwede po ba savings ang ipay takyo kung di enough yung income na hingi-hingi? Mahirap yung ganyan. I would suggest to meet the minimum income requirement. However, if maliit lang yung difference, like 50 euros lang yung kulang mo, then yeah, you can definitely show savings. Do you prefer Windows or Mac? You vibe code, right? Learning AI engineering right now. You got tips po. I prefer Windows just because medyo pirata kami nung partner ko, so we don't like paying full price for stuff, and Mac is just too much for that. But definitely when it comes to like everything else, I love Mac. I have like iPhone, and then meron din ako like iPad, and to be honest, with laptops I prefer probably a Mac. It's just I cannot justify them for the price. With vibe coding, I take vibe coding classes. With coding, I like gusto ko kasi yung 2 monitor setup talaga. AI engineering, wow, that's high level. To be honest, with ours, we do want to get into it. It's just we never had the time anymore to learn new skills, which is something that we write on like things we want to get done in 2026. Ayun, and then need po talaga 3 years work experience para maka-apply ng DNV. If hindi related sa degree mo, yung work or job title mo. How do you learn website development and design? Any recommendations? Training agency. So how it worked is that I used to be a social media manager. Yun talaga yung work ko. I've worked in corporate before with Empire PH, which is like that's under the brands that we do is like Miss Universe Philippines, ganyan. So I used to work like that. Yun talaga yung work ko for a while. And then I was with my company for a while as a VA. Sila yung first company ko as a VA. And I was just able to take on a lot of roles. I was like, okay, go. Kung gusto ko tong aralin, they support it. Or if may papaaral sila sa akin, they will like give me like proper tools or like i-enroll nila ako sa masterclass, ganyan. So, to be honest, I owe it to them. But also, I find the thing that's easier to understand is on Simply Learn. Or, Coursera is also there. But you just have to be picky with kung ano yung maganda doon na ituro. Kasi may iba na it start to get boring when they deal with like a lot of words, ganyan. Pero I'd like talaga na I guess ang learning ko talaga is to just get to it. Like just start doing it. And then okay, if I hit a wall, why am I hitting the wall? We have AI now na you can ask, okay, why is my code not working? Like explain to me why it's not working, 'di ba? Yung mga ganon. Not necessary na sa DFA Papa-Apostle, pwede sa AU Consulate sa PH. For ASIC, okay, so how do I explain this? With apostling documents, kung saan galing yung document, sino yung releasing na country ng document, dun dapat siya i-apostle. So, not sa DFA. It should be national, yung sa DTI. So, kung less than 2,700 euros ang monthly ko, wag mo na muna mag-apply. Yes, you have to wait till you meet the minimum income requirement. Ate, kailan ka po mag-apply for citizenship? Hopefully this year. Hopefully we get approved pretty fast. Sabi nila, 3 to 6 months daw. But apparently in Barcelona, it takes longer. According to dun sa mga OFW friends ko, takes longer daw here. So, let's see. But definitely, ayokong i-jinx. Evil eye. Especially sa nagre-report ng live ko minsan. So, I'm not gonna say anything until I get it, probably. Did you cut all your Philippine banks? No. Actually, I still have my Union Bank. Anything na easily accessible electronically, I have it. Union Bank, because I feel like compared to BDO, BPI, they're better sa, like, to be as app-wise. And then I still have my GCash and I still have Wise PH. So, I still have those banks. And I'm on postpaid kasi. So, I just chose the pinaka-lowest na postpaid ng Globe. So, I can still have roaming and makareceive pa rin ako ng OTP and stuff without worrying if mag-expire na ba yung SIM card ko or anything like that. Kasi nakasave lahat to. Itong SIM card ko na to, yung OTP for everything. Ayun. I'm saving so I can avail your services also for both for Schengen and digital nomad visa. Thank you so much. But yeah, definitely that's a great plan. And also you have to think of savings then talaga when you come here to Spain. Mahirap ba yung application, especially sa employer side mo? No, because my employers are the best. So, my employers the best. Nung, they were like full support. They were like, sige, kung ano yung kailangan mo, like, like that type of stuff. And I was pretty also like, that's what I mean. Like, I've been with them nung nag-apply ako like 4 years. So, I was really with them for a while na. So, and also, isa ako sa pinakamatagal doon. And also, I made it easier for them. I was like, here's the letter. Can you just read it and sign it? Ganon. Ayun. So, I tried my best then to not make it hard on them. And then, I tried to do the research na lang on stuff that I can do. Like, for example, yung certificate of good standing. They were willing to provide it naman. Pero, it was like, we were moving offices around that time. So, I was like, I don't want to stress them out. So, I just did it on my own. So, talagang DIY. From beginning to end. Yun. You need to help yourself din kasi talaga when you're trying to like DIY stuff. Mahirap siyang gawin if you don't have the determination and effort talaga to put into it. Company reveal, hiring po ba? Hindi sila hiring because we are pretty much konti lang sa amin yung Philippine base. So, mostly lahat ay nasa America. So, yun. So, konti lang sa amin talaga yung outside of the country na based. But pag hiring sila, I'll probably post it here if hiring yung company ko dun sa, ano namin, sa, ano na, tawag dito, sa social media namin. Binabalik po ba yung na-apostle na diploma original pinapasa kasi sa DFA? Yes, binabalik yun, pero naka-attach na siya dun sa DFA apostle. Marunong ka nang mag-Spanish, did you enroll a class? Un poquito. So, like, I don't want to say I'm fluent. I'm not at all fluent, but I can at least hold a conversation, especially if you're ordering or if I'm going to like, I try to like prep myself pag pupunta ka ng government office. But definitely reading for me and writing is a little bit easier now, but speaking, because I am socially bad, to be honest. Just that's why it's hard for me, I think, to speak still. I am trying to enroll at a class. Then I'll try to like post Farah. So Farah in Spain is here on anong tawag ng visa niya? Auxiliary visa, ganon. I'll try to post her because she does recommend yung app that like parang for the classes online. And she says it's really good. What do you mean by relevant degree? For example, kung ang graduate mo accountancy and then bookkeeping VA ka. So, yun yung relevance niya. So, relevant ba yung degree mo sa ano yung work mo ngayon or job title? Do you use your PH Bank credit cards there as well? How was it? I only use one. I just have one credit card and I use it. I use it only for big purchases. Just because, for example, like, if we wanted to upgrade our TV, ganyan, then I use it. Or like for IKEA visits, now we have to buy a lot. Then yeah, I use my credit card. Pero mostly, I use kasi here, credit cards here doesn't really exist in a way how America and Philippines does it. Because Philippines is very Americanized, and it's not how it works here in Europe necessarily. So you have parang medyo limited yung credit cards dito. And I don't wanna get a credit card kasi even naman sa Philippines, hindi ako nagagamit talaga ng credit card. Gumagamit lang ako now kasi first yung installment is fun to have as an option if it's such a big purchase na hindi ko pa sure kung gusto ko ba talaga to or something. But also, mayayari ka sa conversion fee. So, that's something why I don't use it as often. Ganon. So, I just use my Spain bank. Kasi after ko nag-move here, doon na din ako nagpapapasok ng pera sa client ko. So I've been here for more than a year. So a year and a lot, like a year and 6-7 months now. I would say my level of my language is probably A2. So, I'm good at like writing and reading, but not really good at speaking or conversational pa, ganon. Okay. More on cash or transfer sila. Oh, good to know. They're very digital na here. So, you just need your card or yung Apple Wallet. Usually that's what I do. Cash, you just need a little bit of cash for like, especially if you're doing touristy things. They accept cash a lot. Marami na bang Pinoy in Spain na naka-nomad visa? Yes, we do. And we have a group. So it's DIY Guide for Spain Digital Nomad Visa. A lot of the people are there, and if you guys want to, then definitely join the Facebook group to connect with others then. Need po ba ng A1? For the digital nomad visa, no. But of course, for citizenship, you need A2 level actually. Okay. Ayun. I think I've answered everything naman na. Marami na ba Pinoy? Okay, I think I answered kung marami na. Yeah, of course, marami na sila dito. So, like, thank you for reposting. Oh my God, Ivan. Get out of here. But yeah, thank you so much guys for this week's live. If you have any other questions especially for people just coming in the live, definitely leave them in any of my videos. I'll try to answer them. But I need to go na din kasi I think I've been here for 2 hours na, and I have a lot of pending tasks. And yeah, but definitely thank you so much for joining this week's live. Yung FB group name, it's actually on the link in my bio. So click on my picture here, and then there's a link tree na nasa bio ko. And then all the links of stuff I've mentioned, the free consultation call, the services that we offer, and then of course yung sa Facebook group and stuff, they're there. Ganon. And then ayun, thank you so much guys for this week. Don't forget the ano naman nito, yung live na to is recorded in a sense, and we upload it on YouTube every Monday. So if you guys missed the live this week, then no worries, nasa ano naman yan, nasa YouTube, and you can leave your comments there if you have any questions, and I'll try to answer them. Wala namang problema. Thank you po. See you in February. Yeah, thank you so much. Oh, usually actually it's sometimes 2 months in advance. But I opened more slots. So instead of doing 5 per day, I try to do 6, 7 per day. 6, 7 per day. Oh my God, brain rot. 6, 7 consultations per day. But usually I try to limit it to 5 as much as possible kung hindi tugma yung oras. Pero yeah, thank you so much guys. And yeah, if you guys are want to book the free consultation call, just go to Yeah, tama naman yung www.atainspain.com/survey. Thank you so much ulit for this week. And if you guys have any questions, just leave them on any of my videos. I'll try to answer them naman. And thank you so much, guys. And I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Magpahinga kayo or have fun. I don't know what you want to do, but yeah, thank you so much. Bye!